Hi everyone, my name is Mehmet Sheikh and today I am starting a new video tutorial series on PHP where I will be discussing about developing an online budget system using core PHP and Bootstrap framework. Okay, so this is the complete application which we will be going to discuss in this complete tutorial series. So this is the admin panel. Okay, so in the admin panel you can see there is a sidebar with set of options like department heads, add department heads, add or allocate budget, and then add employee to department, and then view employees. Okay, so these are some of the features which admin will going to perform. Okay, and these are the list of department heads. Okay, and you can see we have 6 departments like finance, human resource, security, administration, technical, and marketing. So now here you can see there are few employees as well. So these employees belongs to different department. I have assigned these different employees into different departments. Okay, so this is the complete dashboard of an admin. If admin wants to add a department, then here admin can add, and then if admin wants to assign any department to any employee or to a department head, from here we can select. Okay, like here all the departments which I have created, to those departments I have already assigned the employees. Okay, so that's why it's showing here no department found. Okay, so we will see the demo of this complete system as well. Okay, once I show you the design of the system. Okay, next, if admin wants to allocate the budget, then from here admin can allocate. There they need to select the department and they need to enter the budget, and then add employee to department. If an admin wants to add employees into departments, then from here admin can select the employee and select the department and then add employee to department. With this, employee gets added to the department. Next we have view employees. So here you can see, as I had shown you this one already, this contains the list of employees, and these employees are assigned to different departments. Okay, now this is the dashboard of an admin. Now I will take you to the dashboard of department head. So this is the dashboard of department head. Okay, so now this department head name is Michael Brown, and these are the employees. I have assigned only one employee to this department, which is finance department, and if Michael wants to update the profile, they can update that profile from this page, and from here if they want to send a message, they can send a request to the admin. So this is a simple design of a department head. Let me just show you the dashboard of an employee. This is an employee who belongs to security department. Okay, and this employee can also update their details like username, email, and image, and if she wants to send a message, she can send a message to the admin as well. Okay, so now based on the type of user logged in, here I am showing the designation. Okay, so now the person who is logged in here is the employee, so that's why employee has been shown here. Now if I take you to the department head dashboard, so now you can see department head label is showing. Okay, and when I'm in the admin panel, here admin is showing. Okay, this is a complete a very simple online budget system which we have created using HTML, CSS, and core PHP. Okay, so this entire system is responsive as well. Okay, so now let me just resize it. Okay, now you can see as on I keep on decreasing the size of the browser window, the content is getting adjusted. Okay, so now you can see these are the department heads. Okay, and now you can see the design of the menu gets changed. Now when I click on this, you can see admin started showing, and when I click on this, logout link also started showing. Okay, so this system is complete responsive, and we will be going to see how to create the responsive system as well. Okay, so this is our complete system which we will be going to develop in this tutorial. Okay, so this is just a quick overview of this system. Now I will delete this entire data and I will add this data once again to show you the complete flow of the system. Okay, so before doing that, I would just request you guys to, if you guys are new to this channel, subscribe to our channel, and if you like this content, then click on like button and share it with your friends. Okay, now let us see the complete flow of this application. Okay, so now I'm on my login page. So now first I need to make the admin and department heads and then normal employee to be registered on this application. Okay, so for that first I need to go to register now. Okay, so now here I will quickly register admin. Okay, so here I will select admin as a user role, and now when I click on register, it will directly take me to the login page. Okay, so now if I click on login, now it will take me to the admin's dashboard. So here you can see now it's showing no employees added to the department yet, and because I have not registered any department heads or employees. Okay, so now let me just again log out and I will register a normal user. Okay, so now I will register a different user, which is our department head, one of the department head. Okay, so now in this drop down you can see there are only two options. Admin option is now removed because admin has already registered. Okay, so now I will select department head and I will click on register. Okay, now I will try to log in as a department head. Okay, now you can see a different dashboard is displaying when department head gets logged in. Okay, so here the image of the department head is displaying along with the label as budget not allocated yet. Okay, so now I will log out. Okay, so like this I will register all the department heads. Now I have registered all department heads, and now I will log in. Now see, 6 department heads are already registered. So now first I need to assign those department heads different departments. Okay, so for that I should go to here, add department heads. Okay, so I will select finance and I will assign Michael Brown, create department head. Okay, the message started displaying department head created successfully, and now I will select human resource department and I will assign Jacob. Okay, and then I will select security and I will assign Divya, and I will select administration, I will assign Selena. Okay, and I will assign technical to Edward. Okay, and I will assign marketing to Eddie. Okay, so now once I assign different departments to different department heads, so now when you click on this department heads you will see all the various users. Okay, department heads. Now next what we can do is we can allocate budget to them. Okay, so I will allocate few budget to different department heads. Okay, I will select finance and I will allocate some budget. Okay, and I will select human resource, marketing. Okay, see. Okay, so now again when I click on departments you can see budget is also started displaying. Okay, so now these different department heads can update their profile image. Okay, so if they want to do so, then they need to log in to their dashboard. Okay, so now let me just log in as a department head. Okay, so now here if I want to view the employees of this department head, now nothing will display because I have not created employees and I have not assigned any employees to this department. Okay, so first what I will do, I will edit the profile. Okay, so I will change the image, I will select this and I will click on edit. Okay, so the moment when I click on edit profile, the image started showing here. Okay, and that image also gets updated here as well. Okay, so like this different department heads can update their profile image. Okay, so now let me just register different employees so that I can assign those employees to these different departments. Okay, so now let me just log out and I will register employee, and I will click on register now. Okay, so now when I log in as a normal employee, okay, it's showing me this kind of dashboard. Okay, so now I will register another employee. Okay, so like this I will register all different employees. Now I have registered different employees, and now I need to make those employees to be assigned to different departments. Okay, so now let me just log in as an admin. Okay, so when I try to view employees, it will show me nothing because I have registered the employees, but I have not assigned those employees to different departments. Okay, so first I need to assign these employees. These are the employees which I have just added. Okay, so I need to assign these employees to different departments. Okay, so I will assign Eric to finance department. Okay, and I will assign Scarlett to human resource. I will assign Peter to security, and I will assign Julia to administration, and I will assign Susie to technical, and I will assign Jacob to marketing departments. Okay, so now when I click on view departments, now you can see all the employees which I have just assigned to different departments started showing here. Okay, so now these employees can further update their profile. Okay, so for that they need to log into their dashboard. Okay, so now here you can see I'm logged in as an Eric, which is a normal employee. So if Eric wants to update their profile, then they just need to click on this choose file image. Okay, see, image started displaying. Okay, so now when I refresh here, see, the image also started showing here. Okay, so now you can see different department heads with their budget, their department, and their name, along with their profile image started showing on the admin's dashboard. Okay, and employees with their department name and their image started showing on the view employees. Okay, so with this admin can track which employee belongs to which department and how many departments are there and what is the total budget allocated to different departments. So now this is a simple, very simple application which I have developed so that we can learn CSS, HTML, and core PHP concepts. Okay, so I would just recommend you guys to watch this complete tutorial series. This is the first video of this tutorial series, and these are some of the features which we are trying to develop in this complete tutorial series. Okay, so in this series we have 3 different users. Okay, so we will be developing triple user authentication system. In this video I will be discussing about major features which we will be trying to develop in this complete series, and I will also set up the database, and we will also establish a connection from our PHP script to the MySQL database. Okay, so before starting this second video of this series, I would just request you guys, if you like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Okay, so now let us see what are those features which we will be going to discuss in this complete series. Okay, so in this tutorial series we will be discussing or learning about developing a triple user authentication system where there will be 3 different types of users will be there, and these 3 different users will have their own different dashboard. Okay, with their username and password, these 3 users will be going to log into the system. Okay, and then triple user registration and login system. Yes, we will be having separate login and registration panels for each and every user, and then there will be an admin who will be having complete control over various features of the system, like creating departments, then assigning heads to the departments and assigning employees to the departments, allocating budgets, all those things. Okay, and then there will be another user with the name as department head who is responsible in maintaining the department. Okay, and then there will be an employee, and each and every department will have some set of employees. Okay, and these 3 employee types will have their own username and password. With them they will be logging into the system. Okay, and then we will be discussing about admin can create various departments. Yes, and then admin can create department head for each department, and admin can create normal employee and assign them to various departments. Okay, as I have said, once the various employees gets created, then those employees will be assigned to different departments. Okay, so all these things admin will going to perform, and then admin can allocate budget to various department heads. Okay, so admin is the one who will be allocating budgets to various departments. Admin, department head, and normal employee can have different dashboards of their own. Okay, so these three types of users will be having their different dashboards. Okay, and then next feature is admin can add department heads of various departments with their department name and allocated budget. Okay, and then admin can view employees of various departments. Okay, once the departments and their employees gets added, then admin can have a complete view of those employees and their departments. Okay, and then finally department head and normal employee can update their profiles like their username, email, and their image. Okay, so these are major features which we will be going to learn in this complete series. Okay, so now let us close this. Okay, and now we will set up a database. So now I have opened PHP my admin, and then I will click on databases, and I will create a database. Okay, and then I will create. Okay, so I will be creating 5 tables. Okay, first table is users, and I will be creating 7 fields in this table. Okay, and image varchar. Okay, and I will set the size. Now the next is I need to make this as auto incremented, and I need to make it as a primary key. Okay, now I will click on save. Okay, now next I will create user role table. User role. Okay, and I want to create 2 fields. Okay, then we'll make it as auto incremented and primary key. Save. Okay, now I will create one more table which is department head. Okay, and I will create 3 fields. Okay, then auto incremented. Save. One more table I will create, department, with 2 fields. Okay, auto incremented and go. Save. Okay, so now I have one more table to create, which is budget table, and I will create 4 fields in this table. Okay, save it. Okay, so now I have created all the tables which are required for our system. Okay, so now I need to create a folder. Okay, so let me just come here on the desktop, and I will create a new folder, budget system. Okay, so I have one more folder with a name called assets. In that assets folder I have different further folders like CSS folder, and in that I have kept a bootstrap file. Okay, so this is not required. Okay, and I have a font awesome folder. Okay, so this folder you need to download from the net. Okay, I will put the link in the description from where you can easily download this font awesome. Okay, and then I have an image folder where I have kept this default image, and then I have an JS folder inside which I have stored bootstrap and jQuery files. Okay, so I will put the link of all these files in the description from where you can easily download. Okay, so now what I will do is I will put this folder inside my project. Okay, now I will take this folder and I will paste this folder in my htdocs directory. Okay, so here my here is my budget system, okay, with assets folder. Now I need to open this folder in my editor. Okay, I will click on file and then I will click on open folder, and I will select budget system. Okay, so now I will create a file inside my budget system, which is register.php. Okay, and I will create one more folder inside my main folder, which is config, and in that folder I will create a file with a name as db.php. okay, in this db.php I will be writing down the code for establishing the connection with our database. Okay, okay, and then root, okay, username root, and then I have not set any password, so I will leave that information blank. Okay, and then you need to mention the database name, and the name of my database is budget system. Okay, save it. Okay, now I will include this file, my db file, inside register.php config/db.php, and I will run this php. Okay, let's change this to something else. Refresh. Okay, so now you can see it's showing me an error as MySQL connect unknown database budget system. Okay, that means, and it also showing failed to connect error message. Okay, so this error message gets displayed to the user when your PHP script doesn't make a successful connection with your MySQL. Okay, so now let me just change this a bit. Okay, failure. Okay, save it, and now let's refresh. Okay, so now it's displaying connection failure. Okay, and let's make it as budget system, and now when I refresh, now you can see it's showing you a message as connection established successfully. That means we have successfully established a connection with our budget system database. Okay, so now let me just reverse it. Okay, save it. Okay, refresh. Okay, in this video I will be discuss about designing this navigation menu and designing the registration form like this, and we will also discuss about developing the functionality of allowing the admin, then department head and a normal employee to register on this application. Okay, so before starting discussing these features, I would just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed this channel, then subscribe it. Okay, so now let us start our discussion on designing this navigation bar and this registration dialog box. Okay, so now this is our application. Okay, budget system. Now we need to link our CSS and JS files to our system. Okay, as you can see here, I have an asset folder, and in that folder I have a CSS which contains files like bootstrap.css and styles CSS file, and then I'm using font awesome as well. Okay, and then I have a JS folder where I have a bootstrap.js and jQuery 1.12.4 JS file. So these files you can easily download from the net. Okay, or else I will write, or I will give you the link of these files in the description from where you can easily download these files. Okay, so now let us first link our CSS files to our application. Okay, so now I'm in my register file and I have linked the meta tags, and now I will link my font awesome file. So in font awesome folder you have a CSS folder, and in that you have all.css file. Okay, this file you need to link first. Okay, next we need to link the style.css file as well. Okay, and next I will link my bootstrap.css file. Okay, so these are the three CSS files that you need to first link with your system. Next, I will be linking the JS files, jQuery 1.12.4 and bootstrap.js files. Okay, so these two JavaScript files we need to design the system. So now I have linked all the CSS and JS files with my system. Now I need to design a navigation menu. So for designing a navigation menu like this, okay, so I have already written code which I can get from the getbootstrap.com. Okay, so here you can see I have a code for designing a navigation bar. Okay, so I will just copy this code. Okay, now save it, and now when I refresh, you can see a navigation menu start displaying. Okay, so but we don't want these things. Okay, we want only this drop down and this band. I want this UL, but I want only one link. I will delete this, and this link I will make it as logout, and this one is admin. I don't want this link. Then I don't want this button which you can see here. Okay, so I don't want the search text box and button, both I don't want, so I will just remove this. And yes, and I don't want this UL as well. I will delete this UL. Okay, and then I have a set of spans. Okay, so now you can see. So I will keep this button and this spans as it is, because when I resize this browser window, I want to display the menu button like this. Okay, where there will be an admin option, and when I click on that admin option, I will get the logout option. Okay, so now I will resize it. Next, okay, so now we have completed designing our navigation menu, and I will change it to save it. Okay, now next we need to design a footer. Okay, so I will come at the end, and here I will create one more div with a class of back G. Okay, and I will create a P. I will use a P element, and I will give it a name as again. Save it. Okay, I will refresh. Okay, now you can see a footer is also started displaying. Okay, so now what I will do is I have created two files inside my inc folder. Okay, as you can see here, there is a header and footer file. So I will open both of these files, and I will put the entire HTML code which is related to header. I will cut this, and I will put header file. Whatever code I have which is related to footer, I will cut it, and I will put it inside the footer. Save it. Okay, so now I will include this header and footer file inside the register file. Since I have included both header and footer in my register file, so you will notice no changes in the browser window. Now we have completed designing our header and footer of our system. Okay, so now you can see it's displaying admin and logout option. Okay, since we have not developed the functionality of admin and then department head, all those things, still it's showing here. Okay, we will hide this drop down. Okay, and we will only display this drop down whenever an admin logs in. So now we'll move on to design the registration box like this. Okay, now let us go to our editor. Okay, so here I have opened register PHP file, and I have created a div with a class of container, and this container is a class which belongs to Bootstrap framework. Okay, and inside this container I will create two divs. One div, first div with a class of row, and then inside this div I will create a panel. Okay, with a class of panel default. Okay, so all these classes are from Bootstrap framework. Okay, then I have created one more div inside this panel with the class of panel heading to display the heading of the panel as user registration. And then immediately after that I have created one more div with a class of panel body to write the HTML code to create text box and labels. Okay, so now let me just save it and refresh. This is, here you can see the panel is displaying. And now inside this panel body I have created a form with attributes like method and action. Okay, method attribute I have set to post because I will be sending a post request, and action attribute I have set to the same file, which is register PHP file. And here inside the form I have created a div with a class of form group, and inside that div I have created a label and an input text box. Okay, now let's refresh the page. Okay, so like this I will create one more div to display the text box for email, and third div to display the text box for password. Similarly I will create one more div to allow the user to enter the confirm password. Okay, let's save it and refresh. As you can see we have 4 text boxes. Okay, next I want a drop down which is a select. Okay, for that I have created one more div with a class of form group and label as user roles. So in this select box I will display various roles like admin, department head and normal employee. Next I will create a button of type submit. Okay, then at the end I will create a p tag to display a message as already have an account. So now save it and now I will refresh the page. Now we will write the PHP code to make a post request to our MySQL database. Okay, so I will be making a post request to the same file which is register.php to allow the user to register their details inside MySQL database. To make a post request to our register file, first we need to include our database configuration file in our register file. Okay, so as you guys know that I had created a configuration file which I had kept under config folder, and this is my configuration file which contains all the configuration details regarding our database. Okay, first I need to include this file, so let me just include it. Okay, so since my db PHP file present under config folder, so I need to write this config folder name as well. Okay, and next I need to check if the post request is successfully been made on this register file. Then I need to take the username details from the text box. Okay, so to access the username data I need to write this code. Similarly I need to access email information, and I also need to access the password and confirm password information as well. Okay, and finally I need to access the user role ID information as well. Okay, as you can see here the password and confirm password information is been encrypted in SHA1 format. Then user role ID also you need to access. Okay, now here I have written a select query. With this select query I am selecting the details of the user from the table who is trying to register. So here I am checking whether the person who is trying to register is already registered or not. If the user is already registered, then I will get the details of that user to display a message like this user is already exist. Okay, so to display that message of user is already exist in the table, first I need to select the record from MySQL table. So to select that record I need to pass the entered email and password. Okay, once I write this select query by passing the email and password, then it will return me some data. Okay, if the user who is trying to register is already present inside the MySQL table, then it will return me a value greater than 0. Okay, if I get the value greater than 0, that is 1, that means user is already registered. Then in that case I will show a message to the user saying that user already exists. Okay, and that message I will store inside this message array. Okay, if the user is not registered earlierly, then I need to check if the password and the confirm password are same or not. Okay, if both are same, then I will be allowing the user to register. If both are not same, then I have to give them a message as confirm password not matched, and that message also I will store inside the message array. Okay, if password and confirm password are matched, then I will write an insert query, and with that insert query I will insert the details like user role ID, username, email and password. Okay, so these are the variables inside which I have stored the data of the registered user. Okay, so I just need to pass these variables inside this insert query. Okay, then I need to give a message to the user saying they registered successfully, and if the user successfully gets registered to our database, then I need to take the user directly to the login page so that user can log in. Okay, so now you need to create a login PHP file as well. So here I have already created that file, and I have given a messages login just to know that we have redirected to login page. Okay, next, here in this code we are giving some messages. We have to print these messages, right? So at the end, okay, so here we need to check if the message array contains some data, then I will be iterating over that message and I will print that message. Okay, so I will use for loop to iterate over the message array, and I will display the messages stored inside the message array. Okay, so this will help me to display the messages. Okay, so I will take this and I will put this below the header. Okay, so now let's refresh the page. Okay, and I will fill in the details of this form, and now when I click on register, so now you can see it has taken me directly to login page. That means our code is working properly, and I'm sure the user has successfully gets registered inside this table. Okay, now you can see one record gets inserted. Okay, so this is how we can develop the functionality of allowing the user to register on MySQL table. In this video I will discuss about developing the functionality of login. So before starting this video, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, if you guys find this content useful, then click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Okay, so now let us start our discussion on designing and developing the functionality of login. So here I have opened the login PHP file. Okay, first I need to include the header and footer files in my login PHP file. Then I have created a container. Next I have to create a text box. Okay, inside this form, see, I have created a div with a class of form group, and which has a label email and an input box of type text. Now save it and refresh. Okay, now you can see we have created an email text box. Okay, now I need to create a password text box. Okay, and apart from these two text boxes, we also require a submit button. Okay, and then a message don't have an account. Okay, so if the user don't have their account already made in this system, then we should allow the user to go to the register form where the user can register himself or herself. Okay, so for that I have given a messages don't have an account, and then there is a link to register which will take the user to the register PHP file. Okay, save it, and now when I refresh, you can see login form started displaying. Okay, from here if I click on register now, it will take me to the register page, and if I click on login now, then it will take me to the login page. Okay, so now we need to develop the functionality of allowing the users to log into the system. So first I need to include my database configuration file in this login PHP file. Okay, so that's what I have done here. Okay, so this is db.php is my database configuration files. It contains my database details. Next, I need to start the session. The moment when the user successfully logged in, I need to get the details of that logged in user, and I need to put their details inside the session. That's why I need to first start the session. Then I need to check if the post request is successfully has been made from this form on this login.php file. Then I need to collect the email and password. Then I need to run a select query to get the details of the logged in user from the MySQL table. Okay, for getting the details of the logged in user from the table, I need to execute this SQL query. Okay, then here I'm executing that query. Okay, next I'm checking if I find details about the logged in user inside my MySQL table, then this block gets executed. Okay, if I didn't find any details in the MySQL table, then this else block gets executed. If the user is already a registered user, then I will fetch the data of that user, okay, by passing this get user inside this MySQL fetch as method. Then here I will check if the user who is trying to log in is an admin, because the user ID 1 belongs to the admin. Okay, as you can see in this table. Okay, so now you can see in this table user role ID 1 belongs to admin. Okay, so this user ID 1 is the ID of the admin. Okay, next we come back. Okay, if the user who is trying to log in has the user role ID 1, then I will take the details of the admin, like admin's username, admin email, admin's user ID, and admin's user role ID as well. Okay, so I will take all these details and I will store these details inside the session. Okay, then I need to redirect the user to the admin dashboard. Okay, suppose if the admin has entered their username and password correctly, then I need to get their data from MySQL table, and then I need to store that data inside the session, and immediately after that I need to take the user into its dashboard, that is admin dashboard. Okay, so I need to create a file with the name admin dashboard. Okay, now in the else we need to check the same thing for the department head as well. If the user role ID equals to 2, the user role ID 2 belongs to department head. Okay, so far we have not registered any department head, but when the department head gets registered, their user role ID will be set as 2 inside the table. Okay, so now when the department head user gets logged in, then the same thing I need to do for the department head user as well. Okay, their username, email, user ID, and user role ID also in the session. Okay, then I need to redirect the head department head to the head dashboard. Next, what if the user who is trying to log in is a normal employee? Then the normal employee will have the user role ID as 3. Whenever a normal employee tries to log into their account, then I need to get the details of that normal employee as well, and I need to store their details inside the session, and I need to redirect that normal employee into its separate dashboard, that is employee dashboard. Next, this if condition gets executed whenever the user who is trying to log in is a registered user, or if the user has entered their username and password correctly. In that case, this if block gets executed. Suppose if the user who is trying to log in is not a registered user, then in that case else block gets executed. So inside the else block we need to give a user a message as incorrect email or password. Okay, now to display this message on the screen whenever this situation encounters, we need to print that message as well. Okay, if is there any error or error messages present inside this message array, then I will be iterating over that array using the for loop. Okay, then I will display that message. Okay, so I will take this, okay, and I will put that message inside the container. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, let's test this code. So let me just go to the application. Okay, I will refresh, and now I will enter an email which doesn't exist. Okay, now when I click on login, it's displaying me incorrect email or password. That means this condition is working fine. Okay, now I will enter another email ID. So now when an admin tries to log in, then we should take the admin to the admin's dashboard. So first we need to create this admin dashboard PHP file. Okay, let me just copy this, and I will right click and then click on new file, and I will save it, admin dashboard PHP file. Okay, save it. Next, I need to create this file as well. Okay, next is I need to create employee dashboard as well. Okay, so this file I need to create. Just copy and I will right click, new file, save it. Okay, so now let us refresh the page. Now I will try to log in as an admin. Okay, now when I click on login now, then you can see it's redirecting the user into admin dashboard. Okay, so the login functionality is working fine. Okay, now let us register a department head and a normal employee. Okay, so now let's enter the details of a department head, and now I will make this user as a department head. Okay, and now I will click on register now. Okay, so let's see inside our table. Now you can see another record gets stored inside the table with the user role ID 2. Okay, so this user role ID 2 suggests that this user is a department head, not an admin. So now let's log in. Okay, so now I'm logging in as a department head. Okay, when I click on login, now you can see it's now showing me a department head dashboard. That means it's redirecting me to department head dashboard. Now let's go back. Okay, so I will register a normal employee. So now I have entered the details of a normal employee, and I will make this user as a normal employee. And when I click on register now, it has redirected me to the login page again. And now let's refresh the table. Now you can see this user Scarlett Joseph is having the user ID as 3. Okay, that means this user is a normal employee. And now I will log in as a normal employee. Okay, so now when I click on login, you can see it's redirected me to employee dashboard. Okay, so based on the user role ID, I am redirecting different types of users into their dashboards. Okay, I hope you guys have understood how I have written this code. Okay, next what we'll do is we will set up the logout feature. To develop the logout feature, first I need to create a logout file. Okay, so here you can see I have a logout file already created. Then I need to start the session here, and then I need to unset the session. Okay, and once the session is unset or destroy, then I need to redirect the user back to the login page. Okay, let's go to admin dashboard. Okay, and here let's include inc/header php file, and now let's again log in as an admin. Okay, yes, now when I click on logout, I will be redirected back to the logout page. Okay, and one more thing I want to do here, you can see in my already made application, you can see the moment when the admin gets registered, the admin option gets disappear from the list or from the option. Okay, so I want to do the same thing here as well. Okay, so the moment when admin gets registered, I want to hide the admin option from the drop down. So for doing that, you need to go to your register file. Okay, so here you need to make the changes. Here you need to check whether the admin gets registered or not. Okay, so if the admin gets registered, then their record must be present inside the MySQL table. Okay, so I need to select that record. Okay, so by executing this query, next here I am checking if I find the admin's record from the table, then I will display only two options, which is department head and normal employee. If I didn't find any record related to admin, that means the admin is not registered yet. So in that case, I will be displaying three options, which is admin, department head and normal employee. Okay, so now let's refresh our register page. Let's go to the register page. Now you can see there are only two options. Okay, admin option is not present because admin has already registered. Okay, so this is how you can develop such kind of functionality. In this video I will discuss about designing this dashboard, which is an admin dashboard, and I will also discuss about a few other features like displaying this label of admin on the right side of this navigation bar whenever an admin gets logged in, and I need to display department head label on the same place whenever the department head gets logged in, and also I need to display an employee label at the same place whenever an employee gets logged in. Okay, so based on the user role ID of the logged in user, I need to change this label. Okay, so that need to cover in this video, and also we will see how to restrict the unauthorized user to access the dashboard page. Okay, now you can see I will log out, and now when I tries to access the admin dashboard, it will take me back to the login page. So but here this is our application which we are working right now. Okay, now I'm not logged in. At this time, if I try to access the admin dashboard, then it's taking me to the admin dashboard, which should not be done. Okay, so this behavior we need to restrict. Okay, so these are the few features that we will be going to discuss in this video. Okay, so before starting this video, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, then click on like button, share it with your friends, and if you guys have not subscribed to my channel yet, then subscribe it. So now let us start our discussion. Okay, so now the first feature which I'll be going to cover is this displaying this admin option on the right side whenever an admin gets logged in. Now you can see the admin is not logged in, but still the admin drop down is showing here. Okay, so let's go to our editor. So we need to make the changes in the header PHP file. Okay, so here you can see inside this div, here we need to put the if condition. Okay, equals to 1. Okay, so now here what I'm doing is I'm checking if the user gets logged in, and also if that logged in user is an admin. Okay, here clearly you can see the user role ID 1 belongs to admin. Okay, so whenever a user gets logged in, and if that logged in user is an admin, then I want to display admin label, otherwise I will not display anything. Okay, so now let's save it and let's refresh. Okay, now you can see that label gets disappeared. Okay, so now that label gets displayed only when I log in. Okay, now let's log in as an admin. Okay, so now here it's not okay displaying. Then inside the admin dashboard we need to start the session. Okay, save it, let's refresh. Okay, so now you can see that label with head admin is displaying. Okay, so now I will log out. The same thing you need to do for the department head and employee as well. Okay, so let's come to header PHP file. So we just need to copy the same code and paste it, and you need to change to, okay, user role ID 2 belongs to department head. Save it. Okay, so now I will log in as a department head. Okay, so now you can see I have logged in as a department head. So it's not displaying here because we need to go to department head PHP file and we need to start the session, and the same thing we need to do to employee dashboard. Save it. Okay, now let's refresh the page. Okay, here you need to change. Okay, when user role ID is equals to 1, then it should be admin. When user role ID is equals to 2, then it should be, and when user role ID is equals to 3, then it should be a normal employee. Save it. Okay, refresh. Okay, so now you can see department head option is displaying. I will log out. Okay, so now I will log in as a normal employee. Okay, see, this label is also displaying here. Okay, now let's log out. Okay, now that feature is covered. Now we need to discuss securing our dashboard. Okay, to restrict our dashboards to be accessed by unauthorized user, we need to write a condition in admin dashboard, department head dashboard, and employee dashboard PHP files. Okay, so now let us first secure admin dashboard. Okay, so let's come to our admin dashboard PHP file, and first we need to, let's first include the file. Okay, next let's take the user ID, admin user ID from the session. Okay, next here what I'm checking is at the beginning of admin dashboard, at this point itself I'm restricting the unauthorized user with this if condition. Here I'm checking if the admin dashboard PHP file is being accessed by someone without being logged in. At that time I want to redirect that user to login PHP file. Okay, so let's save it and now let's test it out. Okay, so now I've logged, so now I'm not logged in, and I will try to access the admin dashboard. Okay, so now you can see it's not taking me to admin dashboard and it's redirecting me back to login file. Okay, so the same I need to do for the department head and employee dashboard. Okay, head dashboard. Okay, so now you can see now I can access head dashboard, so I need to put the same condition in head dashboard as well. Okay, so here I need to use head user ID. Okay, and then employee as well. Okay, here I need to change emp. Okay, save it. Okay, so now you come to our login file. So I have stored the user ID of the admin inside the session as admin user ID. That's why I have used admin user ID here. Okay, and I have stored the user ID of the department head user as a head user ID. That's why I have used head user ID here. Now let's save it and refresh. Now when I refresh, you can see it has taken me back to the login page. Okay, now I will try to log in as an admin. Okay, so admin dashboard is displaying. Now I will log in as a department head. Okay, so department head dashboard is displaying. Now the one thing which is left is designing the admin's dashboard. To design the admin's dashboard, we need to go to admin PHP file, which is admin dashboard PHP file. Here I had created a container, and now I need to create two divs. First div is of 3 columns and another div is of 9 columns. Okay, and this 3 column is to display the sidebar and 9 column div is to display the list of various department heads. In 3 column div I will make a call to admin sidebar PHP file. This file I have already created here, as you can see, and in this file I will create a sidebar. Okay, and I have created a new element with an ID as sidebar, and inside it I have created one more div with a class of sidebar list and an a tag with a class of new item. Okay, so all these classes belongs to Bootstrap framework. Okay, and I have created a span with a class of icon field and with some inline CSS, and in that span I'm displaying the username of the logged in user. Let's test it. Okay, we can see a small list is displaying with the name of the admin. Okay, similarly we need to create a few more list items. Okay, and here I have created one more anchor tag with href attribute is set to admin dashboard file, and then a span with a font of some icon as user, and I have given it a name as department heads. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, so next second list gets appeared. Now similarly I will create third anchor tag which refers to add department PHP file, and one more span to display the name of that list, which is department. Add department link. It has the font awesome icon as fa plus. Let's refresh. Okay, next I will create one more anchor tag which points to add department head PHP file. Okay, so we need to create all these PHP files in upcoming videos, and a span tag with a label as department head. Let's save it, and then we need to create another anchor tag which makes a call to allocate budget PHP file. Okay, and then span with label as allocate budget. Okay, and one more list item we need to create which calls to add department employee PHP file to allow the admin to add the employees in various departments, and we have a span which has the label as employee to department. Let's refresh. Okay, and we have one more anchor tag which we will use to show the list of various employees, and a span tag to display a label as view employees. And let's refresh. Okay, these are few operations which admin will going to perform. So here on the right side we will display all the department heads. Now we need to see the CSS of this list items as well. So we have a class with a name as sidebar list, and I have created the same class in my CSS file, sidebar list a and span. Okay, so to give the styling to our span element, I have referred it in my style CSS file, and I have given it a width as 16 pixel. To set the styling of active link, I have given this CSS, and to give the CSS for our nav item, each and every nav item, which is the anchor tag. Okay, so I have given it a position as relative and display as block, and then padding and margin bottom as well I have given it, and then border, background color and font weight as well, and then I have made the span to be displayed in uppercase letters, and whenever I bring the mouse cursor on top of each and every list item, I have just changed the color of font. Okay, now you can see the moment when I bring the mouse cursor on top of each and every of these list items, I have made the changes in the text decoration property as well as in the background color property. Okay, so this is a little bit of CSS which I have used to design this list item. Okay, so in this video we have discussed about displaying this label, different labels to different users, and restricting unauthorized user to access the dashboard page, and also we have seen designing this dashboard page. In this video I will discuss about creating these different files like add department PHP file, add department head PHP file, allocate budget file. Okay, and I will also discuss about developing the functionality of adding department. So before coming to our topic, I just want to tell you that if you guys like this video, then click on like button, share it with your friends, and if you guys have not subscribed this channel, then subscribe it. Okay, so now let us start our discussion. So to create the files we just need to go to our editor. So here, as you can see, I had created this admin sidebar, okay, in our last video. Now I need to create these files like add department PHP file, add department head PHP file. So now let's right click and then click on new file, save it as add department.php, and we also need to create allocate budget file, save it, allocate budget PHP. Okay, and then I want one more file which is add department head PHP, and I want one more file which is view employees PHP, employees. Okay, and I want to create add department employee file as well. Right click and save it as add department employee PHP file. Okay, now I have created all the required files. So now let's come first to this add department file. So here we need to copy the same code of dashboard. Okay, I'll just copy and I will paste it here, save it, and here as well, save it, here in the allocate budget page as well, save it. Okay, and then in view employees as well. Okay, okay, so we need to refresh this our project. Okay, refresh, and now I need to create an active link. So to create the active link, whenever I click on any of this list item, I want that list item to be selected. So we need to make that list or the selected list item as the active list item. So to create that I will use JavaScript code. So here first the script tag, and then I will use the neo class. Okay, as you can see here, I have given a class as neo, so that neo item will come in the place of class, and this neo view employees gets appended to neo item. Okay, and whichever list item I will be clicking, a class active gets appended to that list item. Okay, so now let's refresh, and when I click on add department, okay, it's giving me an error. It's saying that add department is not present. Okay, so now let's come here and change it to add department, because I have a file with the name add department. So let's go back and refresh, and now when I click on department, you can see it has redirected me to department file. Okay, so now let's put a message here. So now let's refresh. Okay, now you can see when I click on department list item, that list item color gets changed. Okay, now this list becomes an active item. Okay, when I click on department head, so here as well I will change the name, add department head, allocate budget. Okay, and then add department employee. Yes, okay. So now let's go back, refresh, and when I click on add department head view gets loaded. And when I click on allocate budget, so allocate budget view gets loaded. Now you can see allocate budget list item is become the active list item. Okay, so now this one add department emp. Okay, add add department emp. Okay, refresh, and now when I click on add employee to department, that view gets loaded. And view employees, I need to change view employees, save it. Okay, yes. Now let's right click on this and click on inspect, and now you can see, now I have selected view employees list item, and now it becomes an active list item. So because of this jQuery code, I have added the active class to this new item. Whichever list item I will be clicking on, this active class gets added to that list item. Okay, so here I have created an active class inside our CSS file, style.css file. Yes, yes, here you can see I have an active class which has the background and color, and that active class gets appended to the selected list item. Now I will start discussion on adding the department in our system. We need to go to our add department PHP file. In our 9 column div, we need to create a panel. Okay, so this panel is having a class of panel default, and we need to create the panel heading and panel body. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, so here we have created the panel header and a body, and now we need to create a label and a text box inside the form. So first we will be creating a 6 column div. Okay, and then a form with a method post, and action is add department.php. So we are sending a post request to the same add department PHP file. Next, we will create a div with a class of form group to display a label of enter department and an input text box. Let's save it. Okay, and next we need to create a submit button. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, so whenever I click on add department button, a post request gets submitted to the same add department PHP file. Okay, so we need to write down the PHP code now. So let's come here. Okay, and we will use an if condition. Here I'm checking if the submit post request is successfully been made on this add department file, then I will take the department name from the text box and store that information in this department name variable. Okay, then before inserting the department, I need to check whether the department which I'm trying to insert is already present in the MySQL table or not. So to check that, we need to first get the data from the department table. That's what I'm doing here. I'm checking whether the department which I'm trying to insert is already present or not by executing this select query, and in that select query I'm passing the department name which user enters inside the text box. And here I'm checking if I find a row present inside my MySQL table, then it will return me 1. In that case, I will display a message as department already exists. Otherwise, I will write an insert SQL query to insert the data inside the MySQL table, and then I will display a message as department added successfully on the screen. So now I need to display these messages, department already exists and department added successfully, messages on the screen. So we need to display this message array by using for loop. Okay, so now let's save this code and refresh. Okay, and I will click on add department. Now you can see it's displaying me a message as department added successfully. So I have given the styling to this message. So you can see I have a class with a name as message, and I have written the CSS for that message here. I have given it a border and margin and padding, and then I have given it a font size is 15 pixel. Now let's see. Okay, now I will click on department. Now you can see one department gets added. Similarly, I will enter remaining departments. Okay, and then I will enter security, marketing. Okay, yes, all 6 departments gets inserted. Now we have completed developing the feature of add department in our application. In this video I will discuss about developing adding department head in various departments. For designing the add department head or assign department to various departments feature, first we need to register all the department heads. Before starting this video, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So now let's start our discussion. Okay, so to register all the department heads, first we need to go to our registration form. Let's go to register. Here I need to register all the remaining department heads. So far I had registered only one department head, which was Michael, and now I will be registering all the other department heads. Okay, now I have entered the details of Jacob and I have made this user as a department head, and now I will click on this register now. Okay, like this, register all the remaining department heads. I have entered 5 department heads. Now this is the last one. Now let us click on register now. Okay, now let us log in again as an admin. Okay, let us go and see the users table. Okay, now you can see there are 6 users with the user ID 2 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now we need to design the add department head form. So to do that we need to go to our editor. Okay, so we had created a file with the name as add department head php file in our last video. In this file we need to come to our 9 column div and we need to start creating a panel. I have created a panel here and a panel heading as add department head, and I have created a panel body, and inside the panel body I have created a 6 column div again, and now I will create a form with the method post, which will make a post request to add department head php file, which is the same file. And inside this form I will create a form group with the select drop down. Okay, I have given it a name as department ID because in this drop down I want to display the various departments. So to display the various departments, first I need to fetch all the departments from the departments table. Let's save it. Okay, and refresh. Okay, now you can see our drop down is displaying, but nothing is there because we need to get the details of the department from the table. Okay, now you can see I have written down a query to get the department. Select star from department where department ID not in, select department from department head. So once I done this feature, so once this functionality gets done, then the details of the department and the details of the department head will be stored inside the department head table. So the moment when I assign any department head to any department, I don't want that department name to be displayed on the drop down. Next, if this query successfully gets executed, if it returns any result which is greater than 0, then I will fetch those records. Okay, and then I will display those records inside the option. Okay, otherwise I will display no department found message. Now let's refresh. Okay, now you can see it started displaying all the departments. Like this, I need to create one more drop down to display the list of all the department heads, so that I can select the department and assign the department head. To do that, I just also need to create one more form group and a select drop down, and I have given it a name as user ID. And here as well I need to do the same thing. I need to get the details of the department heads from the users table. So to do that, I have written a query which says select star from users where user role ID equals to 2. Okay, just few minutes back I showed you a table users where you saw the user role ID equals to 2, means whoever user is having the user ID role ID 2, that means those users are the department head users. Okay, so I want only those users who have the user role ID equals to 2. And then if this query successfully gets executed, then it will return me the set of rows. Okay, and then I will be iterating over those result set one by one to display those records inside this option. Okay, if I didn't find any record, then it will show me no user found message. Okay, now save it. Let's refresh. Okay, now you can see it started displaying me all the users. Now we need to create a button, submit button. So here I have created that submit button which has the name attribute set to submit. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, now we need to develop the functionality of assigning the department to a user. I need to come at the top, and here I need to check if the post request is successfully submitted. Then I need to take the department ID and user ID details from the form and store those details inside this department ID and user ID variables. And then I need to run an insert SQL query, because here I will be having the department ID and user ID. Now I just need to store these details, what is that department and who is the department head of that department. These details I need to store inside the department head table, and I am passing this information inside this SQL query. And then the moment when the data successfully gets stored inside the table, I will be displaying department head created successfully message. Otherwise I will display fail to add department head. Okay, now the next thing which I need to do is I need to show these messages. To show those messages, I just need to take this message array and iterate over this message array using the for loop, and here I'm going to do this. Okay, so now let's save it and let's refresh the page. I will select finance department and I will make the Michael Brown as the head of that department, and now I will click on create department head. Now you can see department head created successfully message started showing. Okay, and you can see here the finance department is no longer displaying here because I have already assigned that department to Michael Brown. Okay, now let's refresh this table. See, the user ID 2 is been assigned the department 1, and I will select human resource and I will assign Jacob Holland. Okay, and I will select security and then Selena, and I will select marketing and I will assign Eddie as a head of that department, and I will click on create department head. Now when I refresh the table, you can see various users are assigned to different departments. Okay, now it's just that we need to get the details of these users with whom the departments are assigned from the table, and we need to start showing those users list here on the admin's dashboard. Now in this video I will discuss about displaying those department heads on the dashboard with their name and their department and budget label and a default image. So this is what we will be going to discuss in this video. So before coming to this video, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let us start our discussion on displaying the list of various department heads on the dashboard along with their other details. So to do that, we have to go to our editor, and now you need to go to admin dashboard PHP file. Now I am in my admin dashboard PHP file. So here in the 9 column div, I need to first write a query. Okay, so this query is about getting the details of users, and those details like username, image, then department name, and then budget. Okay, so since these information are present in different tables, so I have to join various tables. Like I need to join users, a department head table, department table, and budget table. Okay, once I join these tables, then here I will be checking if the number of records returns from the MySQL table is greater than 0, then I will be running a while loop to iterate over those records, and one by one each and every record of department heads I will be displaying inside this 3 column div. Okay, and here I have created a UL and li with an anchor tag. Okay, and then one more div with a class of department, and here I'm checking if fetch rows. Okay, so this variable here, you can see fetch rows, if the user didn't uploaded their image by going into their profile, then I will be displaying a default profile image. Otherwise, in else part I will display the image which user has uploaded on the database. Okay, in else I will display the image by fetching it from the database. Okay, and then I will display the username, and I will display the department name, and I will also display the amount. Okay, so to display the amount also I need to use an if condition, because here you can see this may be possible that the budget for any department might not be allocated by the admin. So in that case I have to display 0 value. If fetch rows of amount is been set, that means if user has allocated the budget, then I will get that budget from the database and I will display it. Otherwise I will display only 0. Okay, and then in else part I will display the message to the admin saying that no employees added to the department yet. Okay, if admin added the department heads and assign those department heads to various departments, then only we will be displaying the list of department heads along with the name of their departments, their names, and the budget. Otherwise we will display employees, no employees added to the department yet. Okay, so this else is part of this if. Okay, this here. Okay, so you can see it has clauses here. Okay, now let us save it. Okay, and refresh the page. Okay, so this is our current application. So right now you can see there is no data is displaying on the right side. Now when I refresh, you can see the details of the registered department heads started displaying. Okay, so but here in these boxes, image, profile image, and budget is not displaying, because profile image is something which this user has to upload, and budget is something which admin will be going to allocate. Once these functionalities gets completed, then image also gets displayed and the budget is also gets displayed. In this video I will discuss about allocating budget to these departments. Whenever an admin wants to allocate a budget to any department, then admin will click on this allocate budget and then select the department and enter the budget. And once the admin click on allocate budget, then that budget gets allocated to the particular selected department. So before starting this video, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So now let us start developing this feature. So to start developing this feature, first we need to go to our editor. In our last videos, I had created a file with the name as allocate budget PHP file, and we need to open this file, and we have to go to our 9 column div where we need to create a panel. Okay, and then inside this panel we have to create the panel heading with the name as allocate budget to departments. Okay, and then a panel body, then a 6 column div, and inside this 6 column div we have to create a form, and I have set the form attribute method as post and action attribute to allocate budget PHP file, which is the same file. So I'm sending a post request to the same file, which is allocate budget PHP file. And now I need to create a form group with a drop down which will display various departments. So now to display various departments inside this drop down, first we need to fetch those departments from the database. Okay, so to fetch the departments, I need to write a select query. Okay, so as you can see here, I have written a select query which is select star from department, which will select all the departments from the table, and then I'm checking if this get department will return me some rows which is greater than 0. Then I will iterate over those rows using a while loop, and then I will print those departments inside this option, where the value attribute of this option I have set to the department ID, and I have displayed the department name between this option element. If I didn't have any departments present in the table, then I will display a message as no department found. Okay, let me just save it. Okay, so when I refresh, then you will see a heading with a select drop down with various departments are displaying. Okay, now we need to design a text box. Okay, so to create a text box, I have created a form group again and a input text box to allow the admin to enter the amount, and at the end I have created an input submit button. Now let's save it, refresh. Okay, so now our form is ready. Now whenever I click on this submit button, a post request should get sent to allocate budget PHP file, and now we need to write that PHP code. So let me just come at the top, and here I will check if the post submit request is set. That means whenever the user click on the submit button, at that time if the post request has been made successfully, then I will receive the department ID and the amount from the allocate budget form, and then I will write an SQL query which will allow me to insert this department ID and amount inside the budget table, and then I will execute this query, and if the query gets executed, then I will display a message as budget allocated, otherwise I will display a message as failed to allocate budget. Okay, so now at the end we need to display these error messages to the user. So for displaying these error messages, I just need to iterate over this message array using the for each loop. Now we need to pass this SQL here. Now save it and let's refresh. Before allocating budget to any department, so let's first see our budget table. Okay, so right now I don't have any entries in this table, and now I will select this and I will allocate some budget, and when I click on allocate budget, you will see budget allocated message started showing. So now when I refresh the table, you can see the details like department ID, amount, and the user ID started displaying. This is how we can develop the feature of allocating budget to departments. So now when I click on this department heads, you can see 1,75,000 budget started showing on the card of Michael Brown. Like this, I can allocate budget to other departments as well. Okay, now I have allocated budget to all the departments, and now when I click on departments heads, you can see those budgets started showing in each and every department heads card. Okay, so this is everything about developing the feature of allocating budget. Now the next feature which we will be going to see is add employee to department. So before starting discussion on developing this feature, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, then click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let us start our discussion on developing the feature of adding employees to various departments. Okay, so far we have created 6 departments and we have assigned employees to those departments as well. Okay, so this is my already developed application. So now let's come to the current application which we are working right now. Okay, so these are few departments and the department heads. Now we need to add employees in these departments. So far I have added only one employee in finance department. Now first I will add an employee in each and every of these departments, then we will come back to start developing this feature. Okay, so let's log out and then come to our register page, and I have added Scarlett. Now I will add Eric. Now I will select normal employee and I will register. Next I will go back. Okay, now this is the last employee which I am registering. Okay, now let's go to our database and now let's click on users table. Now you can see these are the employees which has the user role ID as 3. Here there are 5 employees and here at the top I have the 6th employee. These employee I need to assign to various departments. So now let's come to our editor, and here you can see I have a file with the name as add department emp php file, and now we need to create a panel and a header with a name as add employee to department, and then we need to create a panel body. Next 6 column div. Let's save it and let's refresh. Let's first log in. Okay, now I will go to employee, add employee to department. Now let's create a form with the method attribute set to post and action attribute set to add department emp file. Next I will create a form group to display a select drop down where I want to display various employees which just now I have added. Now I need to get those normal employees and display those employees inside the drop down. So to get those employees from the database, I need to write an SQL query which will select those employees based on their user role ID. So whoever user will have the user role ID 3, that means he or she is a normal employee, and I want only those employees whose user role ID is 3. Next I will execute that query. Then I will check if it returns me some rows, then I will iterate over those rows using a while loop, and then I will display the user ID information, and I will assign that user ID information to value attribute of this option, and I will display the username here. Okay, otherwise I will display no user found message. Save it and let's refresh. Now you can see select employee drop down with these users which just now we have added. Similarly, I want to get the departments list as well. Okay. So to create the department drop down, we need to again create a form group, and we need to create a select drop down again. Okay, and I have given it a name as department ID, and I have given a name to this employee drop down as user ID. Okay, next I need to write an SQL query which will select the department from the table, from department table, and then I'm executing that query. Then I will check whether this query select me some data. If it returns me some data, then I will iterate over those rows using the while loop, and then I will display the department ID and department name piece of information inside the drop down. Otherwise I will display no department found message. Now let's refresh the page, and you can see I have all the departments loaded inside this drop down. Now I need to create a submit button. I have created a button of type submit with a value as add employee to department. Now I need to select the employee, and I need to select the department in which I want to add that employee. Then once I click on add employee to department, a post request will get sent to same file, which is add depth emp file, which will insert the data inside the users table. So now we need to write that PHP code. Now here I am checking if the post request is successfully been made, then I will get department ID information and user ID information, and I will store that information inside this two variables, and then I will run an update query. Okay, because the user is already present inside this table, I just need to change the department ID of the user who has the user role ID 3. Okay, now you can see in this table right now nothing has been mentioned in the department ID section. That means so far I have not added this Scarlet employee to any department. Similarly here as well. Okay, so this Eric, Peter, Jack, Susie and Smith, I have not assigned them, or I have not added these employees into any department. That's why here 0 is present. Once I assign these users to various departments, then the number of the department started displaying inside this section. Now let's come here, and now I need to execute this update SQL query, and if the record successfully gets updated, then I will display a message as employee successfully added to the department. Otherwise I will display fail to add an employee. Okay, now I need to display these messages. To display this message, I need to iterate over this message array to display the messages on the screen. Okay, now let's save it and let's refresh the page. Now as you guys have seen that this is my normal employee Scarlett, so I will select Scarlett and I will select finance department, and I will add this employee to finance department. Now you can see it started showing me successful message, and now when I update, then you can see in the department ID column 1 is updated. That means the user Scarlett Joseph is now added to department whose department ID is 1, that is finance department. Like this we will add other employees as well to different departments. Okay, so now I have added all the normal employees to various departments. Now let's refresh the table, and you can see this first user has been assigned to department 1, and Eric is been added to department 2, Peter department 3, Jack department 4, Susie department 5 and Smith department 6. So now in this video we have seen how to develop the functionality of adding different employees in different departments. So I hope you guys have understood how I did this feature. Now I want to display those employees on the admin's dashboard whenever admin click on view employees, exactly similar to this. This is my already done application, so exactly similar to this I'm going to create in this video. So before coming to the discussion of developing this feature, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And now let us move to our project, which is this one, to start developing the feature of displaying various employees here on the admin's dashboard. So to do that, we have to go to our editor, and we had created one file, which is view employees PHP file. So now here I am on my view employees file, and I have created a 9 columns div. Now I have written an SQL query. So now in this SQL query I am using users table and department table, because in this feature I am trying to display the user's name, department name to which that user belongs to, and the image of that employee. Since the information from different tables I'm trying to combine in a single query, that's why I'm joining users table with the department table with the common field present in both of these tables, which is department ID. And I want only those employees who has the user role ID 3, which means I want only the normal employees. Now I will execute this query, and if that query successfully gets executed, and if I have employees present in my table, then it will return few rows. Then I will be iterating over those rows using the while loop, and I will display the information in the form of a card. And to display that card, I have created a 3 column div, and I have created a UL unordered list with the class of department list, and a list with anchor tag, and inside that I have created one more div with a class of department. If the employee didn't uploaded their profile image, then I will be displaying only the default image. If the user had uploaded their profile image, then in that case I have to display that profile image on the card. So for doing that I am using an if condition here. So now this fetch row of image equals to null means it will return me null value if a user didn't uploaded their profile image. In that case I will display the default image, which I have kept under the image folder of assets folder with the name as avatar.jpg. In else case, he or she might have uploaded their profile image. In that case I will fetch that image and I will display it on the card. Apart from this information, I also want to display the username of that employee, and I also want to display the department name of the employee as well. If there are no normal employees present inside the MySQL table, that means admin has not added any employee in any of the departments. In that case, I need to display this message as no employees added to the department yet. So now let's save it, and here I have used few classes like department list class and department class. Related to these classes, I have written down CSS here. You can see the CSS of department, and p tag which comes under the department. Okay, here you can see we have a p tag. I have given it a few styling, and then image tag which also comes under the department class, which is this one, and I have given some styling to that as well, and list which comes under department list class, here this one. Okay, and I have given few styling that as well. Okay, so you need to also write this CSS code also in your style CSS file. So now let's save it and refresh the page. Okay, so this is our admin's dashboard, and if I want to view all the employees which I have just added in our last video, now I just need to click on this view employees. Now you can see all the employees which I had just added in my last video. The names of those employees and the department of those employees also started displaying on the admin's dashboard. And from this video I will start discussing developing the features of department head. So now you can see I have logged in as one of the department head, who is Jacob Holland, who is the department head of human resource department, and he has one employee in his department. Exactly same kind of design now I'm going to create in this video Before starting this video, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and you can show me your support by clicking on subscribe button. Now let us start our discussion on designing the sidebar of department head dashboard. Okay, so we need to first go to our head sidebar PHP file. I have created a file with a name as head sidebar, and this head sidebar PHP file I need to include in my head dashboard PHP file. I had created head dashboard PHP file in my previous videos. If you guys have not seen those videos, I just recommend you guys to watch those previous videos as well. Okay, and I have to include this head sidebar PHP file in my head dashboard PHP file. As you can see here, inside 3 columns div, I have included head sidebar PHP file, and here inside the head sidebar PHP file I need to first create a div with a class of sidebar list, and then an anchor tag with a class of nav item, and then I have created a span to display the department head label along with the name of the user or the department head who will logged in. And this icon field nav item, these classes belongs to Bootstrap framework. Apart from the styling of Bootstrap, I have given some inline CSS styling. Now let's save it, and when I refresh, okay, so now this is my current application which I'm working. Now I will log in as a department head. Now I'm trying to log in as Jacob, and when I click on login, now you can see it's displaying the department head label along with the name of the department head. Next, I will create one more tab in that menu. Then finally I will create third link to display the label of edit link, which will allow the department head to edit their profile. Save it, and now I will refresh. Okay, now you can see another 2 menu items started displaying. I have written this jQuery code to highlight the currently selected menu item on a sidebar. Okay, let's see that. So now when I click on this employee menu item, now you can see this employees menu item is been highlighted with some slightly different color. Okay, so to give this effect I have used this jQuery code. Next, I will create a section with a class of profile picture, and then I'm taking the head user ID from the session. Whenever the department head gets logged in, the details of that department head will be stored inside the session, and one of the details was head user ID, and I will take that data from the session and I will store that inside this variable. And then I will write a select query to get the image of the department head from the users table, where the users ID is equals to the users ID of the logged in user. Then if this query successfully gets executed, then I will be fetching the details of that user, which is an image. Then if user has not uploaded their profile image yet, then in that case I will display a default image. That's what this if row of image equals to null. It means that so far user has not uploaded their profile image. If user has not uploaded their profile image, in that case I will display the default image, which is this, which I have stored inside the image folder of assets. Otherwise I will fetch the image from the database and I will show that image on the web page. Save it. Now let's refresh. Okay, now you can see a default image is now displaying, because so far this Jacob Holland has not uploaded their profile and we have not done that feature as well. And next I want to display the budget as well. So to get the budget, I need to get that budget details from the users table. So for getting the budget as well, I need to write one more SQL query to which we need to pass the head user ID. And to get the budget as well, I will be taking the head user ID from the session and I will pass that head user ID to this query. Here you can see I have used a nested query. So here there is a inner query and this one is the outer query. The result of the inner query will be given to the outer query to get the data. Here in the inner query I am selecting the department ID from the department head, where user ID equals to head user ID. Okay, so here I am getting the department ID of the logged in user, whose user ID is equals to head user ID. Then this inner query will return me the department ID, and that department ID I am passing to this outer query to get the budget. Then if this query gets successfully executed, then I will be getting some rows from the MySQL database. Then I will iterate over those records. Then I will display the budget uh, using a span element. Okay, so and I have given few styling as well, like font size, color, display margin, top font weight. Okay, so these are some additional styling properties. Next, if the admin has not allocated budget to this department head yet, then in that case I will display the budget not allocated yet message. So now let's refresh it. So now you can see, now it's displaying the avatar, which is the default profile image, budget, and then few menu items like the label of the department head and the name of the department head, the employees, and then edit profile link. So this is how we can design the department head sidebar. In this video I will discuss about fetching all employees who belongs to the department of logged in user, who is Jacob Holland, and Jacob Holland is the department head of human resource department. So now before starting this video, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and provide your support to my channel by clicking on subscribe button. Now let us start our discussion on fetching all employees who belongs to that department. So here I have created a head dashboard file, and I'm in my 9 column div. Here I have written down a select query. In this select query I am fetching username from users table, department name from department table, amount from budget table, and image from users table. Since here I want different information which is present in different tables, that's why now I need to join multiple tables in this query. So I am joining users table with department head table, department table, and budget table. I want department name from the department table, that's why I have joined department head with the department table, and I want budget as well, that's why I have joined budget also in this query. So here I have written this query which is in the form of nested query. So this is my inner query and this is the outer query. In nested query, the first inner query gets executed and this will return the department ID. So here I'm fetching the department ID from the department head table, where user ID equals to head user ID. This head user ID I'm taking from the session. So I'm passing the head user ID to the inner query, which will give me the department ID of the logged in user, and that department ID I'm passing to this outer query to get all these details. Then I'm executing this entire query, and if this query returns me some rows, then I will iterate over those rows using a while loop, and I will try to display the data in the form of a card. So to create that card I have created a 3 column div. Then inside that I have created a department list class and a list, and then a div with a class department. Okay, these are the custom classes, department and department list. I have already written the styling of these two classes in my CSS file, and I have shown you in my earlier videos as well. So if you guys want to see those styling, then I would recommend you guys to watch my previous videos of this playlist. Okay, now next I want to check whether user has uploaded their profile image or not. Okay, so here I'm talking about the profile image of the employee is assigned under the human resource department. Okay, so if the normal employee uploaded their profile image, then in that case I will display that profile image by fetching it from the database, otherwise I will display a default image. So here in this condition I am checking if the fetch rows of image equals to null. That means if user has not uploaded their profile image, in that case I will display the default image which I have kept under the image folder of assets. And in other case the user might have uploaded their profile image, so I will be fetching that image from the database and I will display that image to the user. And apart from the profile image, I also want to display the username and department name as well. And at the end, if there are no employees present, that means suppose none of the employees are assigned to human resource department, then in that case I have to display a message as no employees added to the department yet. So now let's save it and refresh. Now you can see, since there is only one employee who has been assigned under human resource department, so that's why you can see there is only one employee showing. So now this is everything about fetching the employees who belongs to the department. So I'm sure you guys understood how I have done this using PHP. And that's all for this video, guys. In this video I will discuss about completing the feature of edit profile, where the department head can update their name, their email ID and upload their profile picture. The moment when the department head uploaded their profile picture, their picture started showing here on the sidebar. So before starting this feature, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends and provide support to this content and our efforts by subscribing to this channel. So now let us move on to complete this feature of updating profile. So now I'm in my edit profile PHP file, and here as you can see I have included the necessary code which is required in each and every file. And now I need to create a folder inside my project. Right click and then click on new folder, and I will give it a name as uploads. Inside this uploads folder I'm going to store the profile images. And now I will create a panel with a class of panel default and a panel heading, okay, and then a panel body. I have created a 6-column div to create a form inside it, and this form has a method attribute set to post and action attribute set to edit profile PHP file. That means I am making a post request to the same file edit profile, and along with these two attributes I have taken an additional attribute which is enc type equals to multipart slash form data. So you should use this third attribute in your form whenever you will be trying to submit text along with the image. Next, here I have written a select query. So this select query is used to select all the data of users who is logged in. So before we allow the user to update, first we need to show their data on the form, right? That's why first we need to select the user's data from the table by using their head user ID. Next, I need to pass this query and execute, and I need to check if this query returns me some set of records. If it returns me records, then I will be iterating over those records using this while loop, and I have created an input text box of type hidden. So I'm sending the user role ID of the logged in user as a hidden information, and I have created a form group to display an input text box, okay, and inside this text box I have displayed the username. As you can see here, I have set the username to the value attribute of this text box. Similarly, I need to create one more form group and a input text box to display the email. So this code will fetch the username and email information of a user, and we are displaying those information inside the value attribute of both these text boxes. So apart from these two text boxes, we need to create a image upload button. Okay, that's what I have created here, and another form group with an input of type file, which will allow me to select the image from the system. And here I have given the accept attribute, which means I want user only to upload images of type JPG, JPEG and PNG and nothing else. And last, I have created an input submit button. Save it. Okay, let's refresh. Click on edit profile. Now you can see the form started displaying. Now the next is we need to write the PHP code. So the moment when the user update the form and clicks on this edit profile button, a post request gets sent to the same file. That's what I need to write here. Okay, now here I'm checking if the post request is successfully been made, then I will get the username detail from the form, and I will also get the email and user role ID as well. As you can see here, this user role ID is I'm sending as a hidden field. Okay, along with the post request, username, email and user role ID will be sent here. Okay, and then apart from these three information, I'm also getting the details of image, like image name, image size and the temporary name of that image, and the path inside which I'm going to store that image inside my project, and that path is uploads. As you have seen that I have created an uploads folder, so inside this uploads folder I want to store the image. And here I'm checking if user has selected the image when he or she has made the post request, then I will be checking if the image size goes beyond this limit, then I will display a message as image file size is too large. Otherwise I will write an update SQL query, and in that update SQL query I am updating the username, email and image path of that user, where the user ID is equals to head user ID. Okay, that means the user ID of the logged in user. Next, I have executed this query. Then I am moving the image inside the uploads folder by using this move uploaded file function, and I have passed two parameters like temporary name and image path. Next, the moment when the image gets moved to the uploads folder and the path of that image and the data gets updated inside the table, I want to redirect the user back to the edit profile page. Okay, now at the end I want to display this error image. So to display this error image, if that situation occurs, I have written a for each loop with which I am iterating message array to display the errors. Okay, so now let's save it and let's remove this, save it, and now let's refresh the page. Now you can see all the information related to the logged in user, who is the department head, started showing inside this text boxes, the name of the user, their email ID, and if I want to update their details, like I don't want this surname, and I will add Holland with email ID, and I will select the profile image. And now when I click on edit profile, you can see the data gets updated now, and now you can see the profile image also started showing on the left sidebar. And now let us see the table. So you can see here the user with the user ID 4, whose name is Jacob, and user role ID is 2. You can see image path is stored inside the image cell. We have successfully managed to update the profile image. In this video I will discuss about completing the remaining feature, which is designing the employee dashboard. This is the last video of our tutorial series, and before starting this feature I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video and If you guys like this complete tutorial series, then click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And now let us move forward to complete this remaining feature of designing dashboard of a normal employee. So here you can see I have logged in as one of the department heads, and the head name is Jacob, and he has one employee whose name is Eric Miller is assigned to his department. Now I need to design the dashboard of Eric Miller. So whenever a normal employee like Eric logged in to his dashboard with their credentials, then right now you can see this kind of dashboard is displaying. Here I have only displayed the name of the logged in user. So now we need to go to our editor. The functionality of developing the dashboard of a normal employee is exactly similar to the dashboard of department head. So here what we need to do is we need to come to our employee dashboard, and here you can see I have included emp sidebar php file. So here that's file. So what I will do is I will open head sidebar, and I will copy and I will paste it, save it. Okay, and I will make few changes, like here instead of head I will make it as emp, and here as well I will make it as emp. I will copy that and I will paste it here, emp user id, and then here I will change it to get emp image, emp image. Here I will change it to emp. Okay, and here as well emp. Here I need to change edit emp profile, update emp profile, save it. Now let's refresh. Okay, now you can see sidebar started displaying. Here is displaying budget not allocated. So what I will do, I will remove this entire PHP code because I don't want to display budget to a normal employee. I'll save this. Okay, I will refresh. Now I need to design the feature of edit profile. So for edit profile as well, I will be taking the code of edit profile feature from my head department section. Okay, so I will go back to my editor and I will open file edit profile. Okay, and I will copy this entire code and I will create one file, save it, edit emp profile.php, and I will paste it here, save it. And now I will make some changes. I will make it as emp, copy, paste here, here as well, and then here emp sidebar. Okay, next edit emp. Okay, because now I am sending a post request to edit emp profile php file, and here as well I need to change to emp user id. Now save it. Let's refresh. Okay, now I will click on edit profile. Okay, now you can see all the details of this normal employee started showing inside these text boxes. Now I need to update the image. So I will select image of the logged in user and I will try to click on edit profile. Okay, so now it's taking me back to login page. Now let us see what's the error. Okay, so here it should be emp user id and here it should be emp profile, edit emp profile. Now save it, and now I will again log in as a normal employee. Okay, I will click on edit profile and I will choose an image And now when I click on edit profile, now you can see the image started showing on the left sidebar. And now let us see whether that image gets saved inside the folder or not. Okay, so the image gets saved in the folder as well. And now we will see whether the image path gets saved in the database or not. I will refresh the table and you can see uploads/eric.jpg path is showing inside the image column. Okay, so this is how we can design and develop the feature of updating the profile of a normal employee. So this is the last video of our complete tutorial series. So I hope you guys understood, and I am sure you guys have learned lot of things from this complete tutorial series. And I just recommend you guys to watch this complete tutorial series so that you can learn more and more things from this series. This is the last video of this tutorial series, and I will come back with other project very soon. Till then, thanks for watching, and if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.